kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why?
My target audience ranges from the ages 15 to 25, but mainly the ages of 15 to 18. So I need to make sure that when choosing a media product that will distribute my film opening, they aren't too expensive, as my target audience are either students or still in their last year of secondary school, so they may not have a lot of money. Media institutions consist of film productions, TV programmes, social networking and also magazines.
I researched into film productions that usually produce social realism films. These consist of Revolver Entertainment, Gateway Films, Gunslinger, Warp Films, Film 4 and so on. Personally, I think Gunslinger and Film 4 would be most appropriate as media institutions to distribute my product. They are not expensive. Gunslinger and Film 4 have both produced many social realism films, and I have done my research into these. I went onto IMDb and looked up social realism films like Sket, Kidulthood and Shank and looked at the company credits. As you can see, they have all been distributed by Revolver Entertainment, but if you look at Sket and Shank, they have both been produced by the production company Gunslinger. I then researched into Gunslinger production company to see what other films they produced that is the same genre as my film opening. I found that Gunslinger has actually promoted many social realism films like Another Hood, Sket, Shank and also Ill Manners. All very successful, well-known social realism films and are very popular for my target audience. I also researched into Film 4 as it is a very cheap media institution that is commonly known and watched by people in my target audience. As it is cheap, this will attract my audience as not many of them have full-time jobs as they are still in education. I found that Film 4 has also promoted many social films like Attack the Block in 2011, This Is England in 2006, Sugar House and Bullet Boy, which are social realism films starring Top Boy and Sket star Ashley Walters. Film 4 has also promoted Kidulthood, Adulthood and 4321, which are the most famous social realist films which are favourites for my target audience. It is not realistic that my film will be distributed by media institutions like Warner Brothers or Lionsgate, because my film is a cheap British social realist film, not an expensive Hollywood film. If my film was produced by one of these media institutions, it would not be successful as my target audience will not have the money to see it, and so will instead wait for it to come out on pirate. I'm thinking of what social networking website would distribute my media product. I would say that Facebook is the best way. This is because Facebook is used mainly by people of the ages 16 to mid-40s. My target audience consists within that age range. So they would then be on their Facebook and they would see my film opening advertised on an app like the Film 4 app on Facebook. And then they will look it up, research into it, and if they were interested, they would go see it. If my target audience was of an older generation, I would not use Facebook as a social networking distributor because not many of the older generation use Facebook. So then they would not see it and this would not make my film successful. The magazine I would choose to distribute my media product would be Time Out London. There's many reasons I'd choose this. One of them is because it promotes films, new films that are coming out. It also shows you what is on television, what is the new films coming out on television, what time it's on and stuff like that. It's great in promoting films, Time Out London. I would also choose Time Out London because it's a free magazine which is usually left by the train station. So this will attract my target audience as if they're just walking around the streets, they can just pick it up. They don't have to pay anything. And as they don't have to pay, they won't be wasting money.
a lot of them don't like to spend money on newspapers and magazines. So as this is a free magazine, it will attract my target audience if just pick it up as they are watching. They will then see my film promoted, and if they like the idea and the look of it, then they would go watch it. So that is why I'll choose Time Out London, because it doesn't mean my target audience has to spend a lot of money on something they're not going to read all the time. To conclude, my final decision on what media institutions will distribute my media product and why is that I would choose Film 4. So, social networking wise, I would choose Facebook, and magazine, I would choose Time Out London. My film is a social realism film, so it's based in British. It is a British film. It's also usually cheap, so I wouldn't want an expensive media institutions, because this will not attract my target audience. My target audience are young people who are usually in education, still a student, and only have part-time jobs, and they won't have a lot of money. If they do not have a lot of money, they will not go to see my film. This will mean my film will not make money and it will not be successful. So the institutions I want to choose have to be as cheap as possible to attract my target audience. The main thing I need to do is attracting my target audience, and if this don't work, my film will not work at all. So my final decisions on the media institutions are Film 4, Facebook and Time Out London.